We've been playing together for a while
Oh, hi,
now.
Chloe.
I was wondering,
Yes.
are we
Oh,
friends?
okay. Are we friends? Hold that thought. Hold that thought, Chloe. Yes. So I thought it was a good time to get back into Detroit Become Human because it's a goofy ass game, isn't it? And pretty curious to see what ending we're on track to get. So hopefully, we can have a goofy ass time and a hashtag political time, because the place that I left this off, I think the last scene that I played was the Capitol Hill scene. And I think I did like 100% violence, so that's great. Can't wait to see how that plays out. Perhaps anticipate getting a little bit mad today. We'll see how it goes. Violence, quote unquote. That's right, Lalin. Hearing you say the name Chloe unconnected to Chloe Price is like whiplash. Yeah. You know, I don't really think I like know anyone in my life called Chloe, really. So I feel like I also associate the name Chloe with Chloe Price before anyone else, because of all of the video essay writing and streaming and such. I do think that she is probably the first and foremost Chloe in my life. No face cam today because of not feeling very well, but Layla sat off camera to enjoy this goofy ass game with us. How's everyone doing? Nice to be back, nice to hang out with you guys, excited for it. Okay. Before I get into the clumsy race metaphors of it all, which was us kind of playing a little bit of a game where we were keeping track of the various different clumsy race metaphors employed in this game, although there was some debate over a few of them and which ones counted, so we can reevaluate some of that at the end if we need to. And also, before talking about our fundraiser, let's answer Chloe's question. Are we friends? I don't know if we're friends, because we never really got deep, Chloe. I opened the game and you quoted Martin Luther King at me. Unsure why. Maybe you don't know the difference between people of color. Which, I don't know. I don't know where they're at with programming androids to understand race, but I assume at this point they should have figured that out by now. I guess it depends on who's programming the androids. Maybe the androids are colorblind, but yeah, sorry, I'm not the right kind of brown person for that. Hi, Aeon. Welcome. I would say, again, this is probably not on the basis of, like, do I think that androids are humans, or at the very least sentient life forms deserving of some kind of political rights, because I've talked about how I think that's a kind of superfluous line of philosophical inquiry. I would say maybe I don't feel like we're friends just on the basis of, like, we haven't gotten real deep, you know what I mean? But I do feel like maybe she's been trying to be friendly, so I'd feel kind of bad if I said that we weren't friends. So I might tell her that we're friends because of being curious about pursuing that kind of, like, line of thinking with this game of, like, you know, yes, I'm perfectly happy to view androids as, like, sentient creatures deserving of political rights. So, but for the record, so that you guys know, I don't know if me and this white woman are really close like that. But let's just say yes for the sake of it.
I agree. There's no reason a human and a machine can't be friends, right? I mean, I'm glad you said yes.
That's nice. I think you gotta maybe, like, work on... Well, she looks very pensive now. I think you maybe need to work on the white woman of it all. But we could be friends if you want to be friends, you know? Maybe just stop being so awkward and interrupting me and quoting Martin Luther King at me. It feels kind of racially charged. But I mean, perhaps this is to the point. Androids act like humans because she acts like a white woman. Anyway, before we get into
accessing the extras section.
Before we get into the story today, we are indeed keeping count of the clumsy race metaphors that arise in the game. So far, the counter is at 14. I'll do a quick review of those. So, and I'll just do the short version because I've elaborated in previous streams. So 1, Holocaust imagery. 2, androids as slaves. 3, androids as live in domestic labor and nannies. 3, anti-migrant rhetorics against androids. 5, Jim Crow, but androids and humans on different sides of the bus. 6, Marcus Luther King and the android civil rights movement. 7, mixed girl poetry. 8, no blacks, no dogs, no Irish, no androids. 9, Comprador Connor. 10, Passing is Human. 11, Underground Railroad to Canada for androids. 12, Human Experimentation, or I guess Android Experimentation. 13, Android Israel. 14, Securitization, i.e. androids are terrorists. So we're at 14 at the moment. There was kind of a dubious status assigned to the possibility of dogs kind of coming up and potentially the security dogs being used to hunt androids, but I didn't think that was, like, clear enough in the game, like, because I mean, you know, a lot of places have security dogs and they get humans as well, so I don't think it was, like, clear that was specific. There was a question of whether or not the androids in the shop window was giving kind of a slave auction vibe, so parenthesis next to that one, and the last one was the racialization of the sex industry, but I don't know how convinced I am by the way that that's explored in the game, but then equally if I gave it to things like domestic labor and the racialization of that, then maybe I have to give it to that one, so I don't really know. So those 3 are kind of up in the air. But we have 14, and I've kept track of some of the bets you guys placed. So Lalin placed a bet on 15 clumsy race metaphors, Faye bet 20, and Fia bet 23 by the end of the stream. So I think we're gonna have time to finish the game today. Possibly, if there's time, I might explore multiple endings. We'll see how it goes and, like, how far back I would have to replay from to get those multiple endings. But we'll see how it goes. And if I finish and you guys are, like, super interested in seeing me react to a particular outcome or, like, play out a particular outcome, then let me know and I could potentially explore that before moving on to the next games. So there's that, and of course we're still raising money for medical aid for Palestinians. So you might be able to see at the top of the screen there's a fundraiser bar. Our current fundraising goal is £2,000, and we're currently at £1,775.98. So we're about oh god, maths. We're just about £224 away from our goal. If you're interested in donating to our fundraiser, then you can bring that up in the chat by typing out the command !Palestine. That'll pull up the link to our fundraiser. If you're watching on YouTube, then the link to our fundraiser is in the chat. It's open at any time, so you can donate at any time. Of course, the kind of situation in Palestine, particularly in Gaza, and the ongoing need for medical aid is still very much an issue, not one that we should be normalizing or treating as part of everyday life. It's still as urgent as ever to be donating money to organizations like MAP. If you do donate them, please let us know in the chat, because I will not be able to hear the donation ping, and I'd like to shout you out if you do generously donate to our fundraiser. There's plenty of YouTube videos that have compiled all the endings if you don't want to play them all out. It's a lot of work. Oh, yeah, I appreciate that, Lalin. But if there's anything, like, in particular that, you know, I don't know, you're like... Obviously the purpose of this channel is, you know, we have a bit of fun, but the purpose of this channel ultimately is to kind of, like, unpack the politics of video games, and, if there's... We'll see what ending comes up for me in this playthrough. If there are particular endings that you want to see me talk about, just particularly for the politics of it all, then I'd be very open to that. I don't think that I would try to get all the endings or anything like that, but I could definitely be open to it, especially if we have time today. But I appreciate you thinking of me and the work that goes into that. Okay, alright, and welcome Lost and Fairy. Sorry, I forgot to say hi. Let's get into the game. Again, I think the last scene was Capitol Hill. Okay, so it looks like we're back with Hank and Connor. Against my will, I am Hank's friend. I don't know how it turned out this way. I mean, I do, because unfortunately the game has aligned befriending a cop with, like, expressing kind of, personal agency and resisting the oppressive structures of whatever capitalism that oppresses androids. But here we are. I would need to watch your VOD for number 13 because I'm still tripping from that. Aeon, the TLDR is, I don't know if you've played or seen this game before, but there's a scene where Markus and the androids from Jericho, they infiltrate a broadcast tower and they broadcast a message out to all of the humans. And number 13 is Android Israel, Lalan. And they broadcast out a message, and it's the articulation of the androids' like demands, and you as the player kind of select what the androids' political demands are. And one of the things that you can select is basically, I think it says territory. And apparently if you select that one, then Markus basically says that he wants to create like a state for androids only. So it's literally like Android Israel, and specifically like the propaganda that Israel exists for Jewish safety, and that the creation of a Jewish only state like guarantees Jewish safety, which we talked about a bunch in the last stream, but it does not. Yeah, yes way. Yes way.
Is everything okay, Lieutenant?
Chris was on patrol last night and he got attacked by deviants. They found his body early this morning. He was executed in cold blood with his own service weapon. Became a father 3 months ago.
Oh my god, who cares?
Fuck.
Blue lives don't matter. Sorry.
I didn't know Officer Miller well, but he seemed
Sorry,
to be a
I
good
meant
person.
cop lives, not android lives.
Yeah.
Just to be clear. I just realized that in this game, blue lives might mean android. I mean cop
Sorry,
lives. Robots are more important than cops. You heard it here first.
Kamsky left Cyberlife 10 years ago. Why did you want to meet him?
I know you didn't actually select that dialogue and didn't hear what he got to say, but you've got to hear it yourself because it's fucking insane. You know, once again, if you want me to replay a scene and react to it, we can do that at the end of the stream. Just saying. So if you guys want to see the Android Israel option, we could potentially do it.
Guy created the first android to pass the Turing test, and he's the founder of Cyberlife.
Right.
Anybody can tell us about deviants, it's him.
Okay, so we're about to meet the founder of CyberLife, I guess. I think we read some magazine articles about him before. Oh, it's Chloe! Hi.
Hi. I'm Lieutenant Hank Anderson, Detroit Police Department. I'm here to see Mr. Elijah Kamsky.
Please, come in.
Meeting Musk with Hank and Connor. Is Elon Musk really the parallel here? We'll unpack it. Like, we have to see what kind of a person this is.
So please make yourself comfortable.
Chloe, she doesn't even know who I am. Wow. That is ostensibly artwork.
Nice girl.
You're right. She's really pretty.
Nice place.
Lol. Not this
These
portrait.
androids haven't been a bad thing for everybody.
Elijah Kamsky, CyberLife founder, resigned 2028, inventor of Therium and biocomponents technology. Look at his stupid fucking portrait, you guys. It's hilarious. Also looks like he had a haircut at some point. Big photo of Neil Newman on the wall. Is that the actor's name, or is that like a joke or reference to something? Yeah, okay, it's the actor. Yeah, they did just take a photo of him. It's really funny. Because it's not giving, like, you know in Alan Wake type shit, that the kind of FMV stuff in accompaniment with the video game animation kind of creates this uncanny effect that's kind of odd but kind of cool.
You're about to meet your maker, Connor.
Not that.
How's it
Just
feel?
goofy.
Amanda.
Oh, stop it. This is not a race metaphor, but he was just about to say something about religion and God or some shit. You're about to meet your maker. That's Amanda. Okay, so Amanda is the woman that we keep seeing in our mind palace, and not sure if it's a real place or, as I've said, a mind palace. I've thought that it was probably a mind palace, but Amanda Stern, AI professor at University of Colbridge, born 1978, died 2027. So she dead, in which case I'm gonna say mind palace. Elijah Kamsky was born in 2002. So this game is really about what horrors millennials are gonna wreak on the earth. His little icon photo, not portrait, almost had him looking like Brad Pitt. Oh, I know. But ultimately, this is just some fucking guy. He's also like 5 other characters in this game, and I think he plays the vampire elf from Baldur's Gate 3. Really? I still need to finish Baldur's Gate 3. That game it's too hard for me, I have to say. It's too hard. One day, I'll finish it, but at this point, I think it's been like 2 years since I first tried playing Baldur's Gate, and not finishing. Maybe I just need to stream it, because even though it takes like 100 million hours to play, because it's so hard, even on easy mode, like there's no fucking easy mode that's actually easy on that game. It's just sometimes like streaming games that I find really difficult actually holds me accountable to finishing them. So maybe I just start from scratch, and also I did kind of want to do a video essay at some point about so Soup Dragon Queen knows this. I did want to do a video at some point about like liberation theology and stuff like that in games, and I really wanted to explore the Shadowheart plotline in that. So it would kind of be a two-stone situation for me, so you guys can stop asking me if I finished Baldur's Gate 3, and I can stop giving you the very annoying answer that I still haven't finished it, and maybe we can have a fun time. Oh, hot pot. That sounds great. I hope you enjoy your hot pot, Aeon. Oh, sorry. No, you're right. I'm just a bit out of it. Gen Z. This is a game about the horrors that Gen Z are going to wreak on Earth.
Kamsky is one of the great geniuses of the 21st century. It'll be interesting to meet him in person.
Okay, well, I didn't want to flatter him like that.
Sometimes I wish I could meet my creator face to face.
Okay, Hank.
I'd have a couple of things I'd want to tell him.
Yeah, we got it. Tech addict, space tourism on the rise, okay, I think we've seen that before. Although now, Katy Perry drama makes that funnier to read. With the advent of reusable space shuttles, space tourism is becoming a reality for those able to afford it. Luxury travel brand Clear Skies is offering the first commercially available flight into space. The experience includes a 3-hour orbit of the moon, affording spectacular views of Earth through a specially designed observation deck. Like, this is already happening, you know what I mean? As competition increases in this growing market, consumers can expect such trips to become more and more affordable, but consumer rights activists are already decrying such boutique experiences as a sign of the widening social equality gap. A spokesman for Aid on Poverty said, "While the top 1% are enjoying Earth from space, the rest of us are down here suffering from pollution, famine, and poverty." Wow, not like pertinent political analysis accidentally being found in a David Cage game. Clear Skies was not available for comment, but the new slogan for their spacefaring holidays looks increasingly apt. Get away from it all. That's actually quite poignant. Yeah, it's quite interesting to have this here because I did mention that, like, I do think that class dynamics are kind of, I don't know, like, how much they're explored in this game in, like, an interesting or particularly, like, effective way, but it is a thing that we noted with, like, Todd and Alice's home and the comparison to Markus and, what's his name? Carl? Their house? CyberLife's fortune teller computer. Interesting. CyberLife has unveiled a new quantum supercomputer capable of exaflops, 1 billion operations per second, the equivalent of several human minds in a single machine. The computer was specifically designed to analyze vast data from various sources and generate predictions. Philip Seymour, CyberLife's director of futurology, is highly confident. We've been testing for a while and the results are going to wow people. The computer will be used to calculate the probability of mass extinction events, such as aggressive alien invasions or global climate disasters like meteors or superviruses. The computer can then help us to anticipate and prepare for such calamities, ensuring humanity is never caught off guard. Despite doomsday predictions from those fearful that AI is gaining too much influence already, many experts are hailing this as a quantum leap in applied artificial intelligence. Playing this game in 2025 feels so wild compared to year of release considering what's happening today. Yeah, I think you're right, Aeon. I mean, I think that there was definitely... So, year of release was, I want to say 2017? Or thereabouts. So, this is almost 10 years later. And... Yeah. Definitely some stuff that's, that was relevant then, but is just becoming more relevant, I think. Anything else for me to explore, or do I just sit?
Glad you will see now.
Okay. I thought that Hank was gonna make some kind of comment on, oh,
Mr. Kamsky?
hello, Chloe and Chloe and Chloe.
Just a moment, please.
Okay, she's looking, okay, alright. little bit unsettling. But what are we gonna do? Where the fuck is he? Why are we in, like, the Arctic right now? What's... Is that blood? Is that a pool of... Oh, is that also a male android? Is he a bisexual... Oh no, that's him. Never mind. Gonna say he's a bisexual villain, isn't he? No, just a straight one. Listen, Chloe and Chloe should just make out. Looks like they're getting along swimmingly.
I'm Lieutenant
Man
Anderson.
bun, undercut ass. Okay.
What can I do for you, Lieutenant?
Sir, we're investigating deviants. I know you left Cyberlife years ago, but I was hoping you'd be able to tell us something we don't know.
Deviants. Fascinating, aren't they?
Okay, bro.
Perfect beings with infinite intelligence. And now they have free will. Machines are so superior to us. Confrontation was inevitable. Humanity's greatest achievement threatens to be its downfall. Isn't it ironic?
Well, I guess it depends on how you define achievement, considering that this is like the depoliticized framing that a lot of people kind of give to the idea of like scientific progress under kind of Western imperialism and capitalism, and the idea that that progressive is like positive and yields like fantastic achievements, like is only positive, I should say, because of course, you know, some of these technological and scientific advances are incredible, of course, but that they are only positive, and that the cost of them, which is like, you know, immense ecological and human damage, is somehow like necessary or worthwhile, when it simply isn't. Like, it's not an inevitable trajectory of history, and I think that this kind of way of talking about it often kind of like naturalizes it like that. But it's funny how these technologies that predict climate catastrophes always want to leave out the man-made factors of potential violence. Yeah, absolutely, Aeon. I think that that kind of thing, this idea of like, oh, you know, we're designing technologies that will deal with like this, that, and the other. Again, it always comes with like an apolitical framing that removes kind of the man-made political factors that kind of lead to those crises. Like, climate catastrophe is a great example. Once you're used to hearing Asterian's voice, you start hearing this guy everywhere. So, sorry, this actor is Asterian? Let me double check that real quick, because I don't know why that didn't click for me, but maybe it's because, yeah, it is Neil Newbin is the voice of Asterian, and he also plays Elijah Kamsky and Gavin Reed in Detroit Become Human. Wow, that's crazy. I'm going to try and pay attention to that, but I suppose he does a little English accent in Baldur's Gate, doesn't he? I think it's Too Thin to Be Blood. I think you might be right, Lost in Fairy. But why the fuck is it red?
Something in the Deviants program seems to emulate emotion. We thought you might know something about how that occurs.
All ideas of viruses that spread like epidemics. Is the desire to be free a contagious disease?
Listen, I didn't come here to talk philosophy. The machines you created may be planning a revolution.
God, I hate
You can
playing
tell
a
us
cop.
something that'll be helpful, or we will be on our way.
What about you, Connor? Whose side are you on?
I'm on the human side, of course.
Well, that's what you're programmed to say. But you. do you really want?
What I want is not important.
Chloe? I'm sure you're familiar with the Turing test.
Oh god,
Your
okay.
formality. Simple question of algorithms and computing capacity.
Also, why is this guy who has, like, several lady androids that look the same and is, like, hanging out and having sexy times with them and using them as servants, giving me some kind of, like, moral or philosophical lecture about the nature of freedom in androids? Like, seems like a hypocrite.
What interests me is whether machines are capable of empathy. I call it the Kamsky test. It's very simple, you'll see. Magnificent, isn't it?
It is unsettling.
One of the first intelligent models developed by CyberLife. Young.
Oh, don't touch her.
And beautiful
Jesus
forever.
Christ. You're a creep. That's my verdict.
Flower that will never wither.
Although he
What
sounds
is it
too intelligent for the Elon Musk comparison, so we're gonna have to make another one, you guys.
Piece of plastic containing a human? Or a living being? With a soul? It's up to you to answer that fascinating question, Connor.
Oh my god. Okay.
Destroy this machine, and I'll tell you all I know.
I will not be doing
Or
that.
if you feel it's alive. But you'll leave here without having learned anything from me.
Okay, I think we're done here. Come on, Connor, let's go. Sorry to get you out
What's
of here.
more important to you, Connor? Your investigation or the life of this android? Decide who you are. An obedient machine. Or a living being. Endowed with freedom.
You're right, I do think that Elon Musk
That's enough.
thinks he's
Connor,
this
we're
guy.
leaving.
Pull the trigger.
Oh my god, okay, we get it. Just give me the option already so I can press the button. I will not be killing her. Thank you. We're not gonna be killing any ladies that you like make into servants in your weird like billionaire hypocrite household where you philosophize about the nature of free will. That's our woman. I know that she was I know I said she was kind of weirding me out. I know I said that her and I weren't friends yet. She has some unlearning and some kind of work to do. But we're not killing her. That's our woman. That's our bestie. That's our bestie Chloe. That's my problematic bestie.
CyberLife's last chance to save humanity. Is itself a deviant?
I'm not a deviant.
You prefer to spare a machine rather than accomplish your mission. You saw a living being in this android. You showed empathy. A war is coming. You'll have to choose your side. Will you betray your own people or stand up against your creators?
Wow.
What can be worse than having to choose between two evils?
What do you mean two evils? What do you mean two evils? One option is be a race traitor and the other is join the revolution. Well, that's not two evils, you fucking prick.
Let's get out of here.
This game.
By the way, I always leave an emergency exit in my programs. You never know.
What do you mean? Are you telling me that he are you telling him he can kill himself?
Why didn't you shoot?
I just saw that girl's eyes, and I couldn't. That's all.
You're always saying you would do anything to accomplish your mission. That was our chance to learn something, and you let it go.
Yeah, I know what I should have done. I told you I couldn't. I'm sorry, okay?
Well, maybe you did the right thing.
This is stupid because the game is trying to make this a big dramatic moment, but obviously you shouldn't shoot her. Like, why would you? Yeah, I mean, it's just, it has no emotional charge. Like, I did not feel stressed or emotionally invested in any of that. And I know it's just like, as we've discussed a lot of the way through this game, just poor, like, over-the-top writing that's kind of has the effect of this like dreadfully failed seriousness. There's no actual tension. Yeah, as like it wasn't a timed decision. It was like, what were the consequences really? Like, I don't know. Surely there are other ways to gain information about the nature of deviance. The stakes weren't particularly high. It's just, yeah, it's this kind of like manufactured attempt. Well, I mean, I suppose that like in a narrative, tension is always manufactured, but you know what I mean. Like it's a poorly manufactured, I guess, like attempt at making you feel that this is like a difficult choice, but there's absolutely no tension in it. The whole framing of all the androids gaining sentience and asking for equal rights as dooming humanity is insane. Yeah, it is insane. I do kind of think a lot about that in android fiction. Like, yeah, Aeon's saying, I feel this is common in a lot of android related media. I do think that something that perhaps we should kind of be discussing more is that a lot of engagement with android media is like on the basis of buying into the speculative aspect of it and kind of being like, ooh, you know, perhaps in our near to distant future, we actually could have androids. I mean, look at where we're at with generative AI. How long will it be before that like AI technology develops? How long will it be before we, and you know, people have kind of developed like prototypes of humanoid robots and like blah blah blah. Okay, whatever, but I don't think that that's really like the important thing here. And then they kind of like want to have a discussion about the speculative aspect, so to kind of be like, okay, so if that did happen, then what would we do, and blah blah blah. But again, this is really important. This is fiction, and in the fiction, because no such thing has quite happened yet, usually what the fiction is drawing on is not futures which we have no knowledge of yet of possible android oppression, but histories of actual oppression faced by different groups of human beings. Obviously, we've been like joking around a bit about the clumsy race metaphors in this game, but that's always what happens, right? So android media is always drawing on actual material histories of oppression in order to kind of like create this speculative fiction. And a lot of the discourse focuses on the speculative aspect, but not on, and I kind of said this in my first stream, I think, and again, I think it's really important, but not instead as reading this as a piece of fiction where the androids are metaphorical or allegorical for what has actually happened and continues to, in the present, actually happen to oppressed people in our society, and therefore how it conveys things such as revolution, political violence, slavery, domestic labor, etc., etc. All of the themes that we've been discussing. And when we view it that way, which I think is a much more useful and much more important way to view it, then I think that we should be very concerned about the amount of android fiction that always posits that the political freedom of androids is always at the expense of the political freedom of human beings. And this is far from the only game that has that framing. And we've not got to the ending yet, and I haven't seen like a ton of the endings of this game, so I can't really like comment that much on it. But like something that immediately comes to mind for me, and is like a super formative memory of kind of science fiction media and politics for me, is the Mass Effect series, particularly when you get to Mass Effect 3, but like in Mass Effect 2 and 3, there are a series of decisions that your character has to make with regards to the political freedom of the Geth. And the political freedom of the Geth, which is like a synthetic race, so like a race of sentient robots, is always kind of situated in opposition to the political freedom of the Quarians, who are the alien race that created them, but that also live within certain kind of like restrictive political conditions. And that is taken to such an extreme in Mass Effect 3, where you can literally like doom the entire race of either the Quarians or the Geth, and it's a very difficult and very rare scenario to be able to save both of them, or for both of them to be free. So that's like a really formative one that springs to mind for me. But it's, again, when we read that like metaphorically, it's concerning, because it's like, I mean, if we take a less metaphorical example, remember how people rightly reacted to BioShock Infinite, right? Because BioShock Infinite's narrative framing is essentially implying that like black people fighting for their political freedom entails like that black people will become an oppressor of their own and will like create a political regime that oppresses other people. And rightly, a lot of people were very angry about that and have critiqued that deeply. But that's kind of like a similar trope, right? So I do think, thank you guys for bringing that up, because I do think that that's a really important conversation to be having. It's the similar political argument, and I think that it's very dangerous. And you can see how it applies to real life examples, because, for example, the case of Palestine springs to mind because people are always saying, oh, you say like from the river to the sea, Palestine should be free. Doesn't that entail like the genocide or mass displacement of Jewish people? And I'm like, no. Where did you get that idea from? But that's a great example of how dangerous the narratives that like a group of oppressed people seeking freedom for their oppression through armed resistance or violent means is like framed as entailing other forms of violence or other forms of oppression, or being predicated on other forms of violence or oppression. Yes, anyway. Okay. Let me have a drink of water because I've been yapping. Yeah, people say that about First Nations people, so other Indigenous people in other contexts as well, with regards to land back. I don't know if iRobot movie did the similar thing, because I can't quite remember the details, but I did see the similarities in Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains that had the same issue regarding AI existence alongside humanity too. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, sorry. Let me just get rid of that spam bot. Okay. Let's review our decisions here. Okay, so I arrived with Hank, which, okay, could have gone differently, maybe. Maybe we arrived separately if me and Hank aren't getting along. Oh, you learn that Chris is dead because the cops were killed in Capitol Park. Yeah, who fucking cares? Follow Hank to Kempsky's place. Chloe answers the door. Chloe gets... Hank thought Connor made the right decision. Okay, cool. If they want to free Palestine from the river to the sea, then where will I go? I know, right? Go back to New York. Seriously. Okay, we're back with Markus. What a nice view. Welcome to Detroit, Android City. Let me read a magazine. Android riot. Here we go. Detroit neighborhood vandalized by psychotic machines. Let's read it. Okay, nobody cares about the Eastern space race. I think I've potentially already read this, but let's just read it just in case, I guess. A number of Detroit neighborhoods... Here we go. A number of Detroit neighborhoods were brutally vandalized last night with CyberLife stores broken into and the entire stock of androids stolen. But this wasn't everyday criminality. The perpetrators are thought to be androids. Though the police have yet to issue an official statement, leaked CCTV footage from the surrounding area shows a number of androids emerging from manhole covers and smashing store windows. The worst incident was in Capitol Park, where police attended the scene and were confronted by androids behaving violently. Officers had no choice but to open fire on the malfunctioning machines, which are thought to be suffering from some kind of behavioral bug. Not pathologizing resistance. Does this count as another race metaphor, you guys? Because I'm gonna have to Google the name of it, but I know that, like, in the kind of early days of the psychiatric profession, there were terms coined to pathologize, like, enslaved people's resistance to enslavement. Let me Google what the term for that is, but drapetomania, that's the one. So drapetomania was in 1851 proposed as a mental illness by Samuel A. Cartwright. So it's the pathologization of enslaved Africans fleeing captivity, and it's being like, oh, they have like a mental illness that's like forcing them to do that. So drapetomania is the name. I hate, possibly this counts as another race metaphor. Okay, we've got a couple people in the chat saying that that's potentially another race metaphor. And yes, it's, as Aeon points out, also a disability metaphor. So we've got like another one here. Let's put that down, shall we? Rioting due to android bug or malfunction, i.e. pathologization of resistance, e.g. drapetomania. Okay, so we're at 15 clumsy race metaphors right now. There's also protest psychosis, says Lost in Fairy. When more and more Black Americans joined the movement for civil rights and began to fight back against the racist state, they dumped this phenomenon, protest psychosis. In the 60s, psychiatrists Walter Bromberg and Frank Simon suggested that Malcolm X and the civil rights movement had sparked a wave of violent schizophrenic symptoms and paranoid racial antagonism in Black Americans. Yep. No, that's right. Sorry, I didn't finish reading the article, Marcus. Could you go back? An eyewitness who asked to remain anonymous said, "I was personally attacked by the ringleader. It threatened me with a knife, and I was so terrified." Of course, this allegation remains unconfirmed, but we have no reason to disbelieve a human witness as to the behavior of a deranged machine. Some are already connecting this issue to the recent attack on Detroit's Stratford Tower, again executed by androids. This may be the beginning of a disturbing and perplexing new pattern. Yes, Lalin, your bet was 15, so currently you're right on the money with 15. Unless any other race metaphors come up, you're in the lead. Okay, I don't really want to read about the space race because I feel like we already have done. Enjoys some time alone. Okay. Wow. You know I gotta do it, guys. Who is this girl I see staring straight back at me? When will my reflection show who I am inside? Okay, let's hope that piano playing goes a little bit better this time. Mixed girl poetry incoming, absolutely. Yep, random ass piano on the roof. I don't know. And how is it tuned? All good questions. I don't have the answers, sadly. That, like, touchpad piano mechanic is not wonderful.
I was wondering where you were.
Like, it should give me some kind of, like, rhythm game thing where, like, I have to type it in time, because otherwise I'm just making up my own time and I don't even know what piece I'm playing, so I'm kind of just, like, tapping it, not knowing what I'm doing.
I needed to think.
Oh, I forgot
I
about
like
his
it here.
homophobia. Sorry, heterochromia.
I come here often. It's like being alone with the world. We freed hundreds of our people, and they're still coming from all over the city. Those who dream of freedom come to Jericho. Something's changing. You seem preoccupied.
Okay. I do not know what that means. Appeal of power. What does that mean? Next step. What the fuck does appeal of power mean? Guys, I gotta say, some of the dialogue, I know I make this complaint like every other fucking game, but some of the dialogue options really need to be clearer about what we're talking about. I think I'm just gonna be, I don't know, I'm kind of curious about it because I unlocked it, but equally I'm kind of scared that he's gonna say something weird, so I might just be sincere.
They count on me. They count on me to show them the way. If only they knew how lost I am.
All the media are talking about what we did last night. The humans are terrified.
Yeah.
They're afraid of a civil war. Many of our people were burned in response to what happened. The humans hate us. They'll never give us our freedom.
If they won't listen, we'll fight.
You haven't said much about yourself since you've been with us. What was your life like before Jericho?
I hate to tell you this, North, but he's a champagne socialist.
I was caring for an old man. He was like a father to me.
Ew.
He showed me that humans and androids can live
Oh,
together.
fuck off. Fuck off. This is so, someone pointed it out last time, but it's so true that the game tries to push you into like a both sides like peace like approach to the situation, even if you're like committing as hard as possible to not do that. I'm sorry, I'm just processing that he said that his employer was like a father to him, which is obviously a horrible trope in terms of like white people who employ domestic servants saying that their domestic servants are like family to them, and oh they see us as their family too, but it just covers like various forms of abuse, and obviously it is an employer-employee relationship, and usually that trying to kind of act like it's a familial relationship actually plays into the levels and forms of exploitation that these domestic laborers like experience. And then saying, wow, I lived with this human guy who paid me to do his chores, and that taught me that humans and androids can live together. Like, be so fucking for real.
What about you? You never told me about your past. What did you do before?
I don't want to talk about it.
That android you were looking at in the store. She reminded you of who you were, didn't she? We all have something we want to forget. But you need to know where you come from to know who you are.
I was nothing. A doll in a distributor program to satisfy humans. Just a toy designed for their pleasure. One day I was with a man who rented me. And without knowing why, I realized I couldn't take it anymore. I strangled him and I ran away. There, now you know everything. I shouldn't have told you.
Oh, jeez. I feel that we've unlocked romance, and it's going to be very David Cage style, like weird misogynistic stuff accompanied with like the already existing like weird misogynistic trope of like men having romances with sex workers in popular media, and how like how the sex workers' trauma is presented and how they like connect over the trauma, and it's just I can't do words today, but you guys know what I mean. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. I just want to leave her alone. I mean, I want to be her friend, obviously, but I'm playing as a man, so I would like to leave her alone romantically. Are we talking outfits right now? I hate how her hair is long in the back but short in the front. It's a very, like, layers, like, straight girl layered haircut situation, for sure. And the hair is tucked into her shirt. I think that's probably just glitching, but I'm gonna have to pay attention to that now. Android North taking a deep breath when androids don't breathe. Help. You know, it's something that I have kind of thought of in previous scenes. It's funny because... I don't know, it's funny because I also think a lot about, like, how... I understand a certain degree of, like, limitation of, like, oh, you have human actors playing robots and human actors, you know, need to do certain things to convey emotion and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, they are actors, and also this is a video game, which means you have kind of more plasticity with how the avatars are represented. And, like... So, sometimes I think about how, like, I do believe in the political rights of androids and everything, but I think they're presented as too human. And I actually think that it needs to be acknowledged and kind of addressed that there are ways in which they are fundamentally not like us, and they still deserve political rights. And I think that emphasizing some of the ways in which they are, like, not like us a bit would also be interesting if you were going to do, I don't know, just more detailed, more compelling storytelling. That's all. Okay, it's telling me to connect. I don't know what that means, and I'm concerned about it, but it doesn't look like I have a choice. Oh, I did have a choice. Well, that's good. I didn't feel good about that. I was not. Okay. It went red. Did I fuck something up? Because I thought it was gonna, like... He was gonna do that thing where he, like, reads her brain, and I was like, I don't want to do that right now. I don't think that's appropriate. I think that probably was a romantic option. I don't know. I don't know what that was, but I had a bad feeling about it. So, I don't know. Now I'm like, maybe I missed something, but equally, I had a bad feeling about it. Okay, I'm just gonna keep playing in that case.
This is suicide.
There's also something to be said about people having more empathy for androids that act more human, like outwardly expressing emotion and not having flat affect, and that's presented as acting human. Yeah, totally. And I think it's interesting to point out that has, like, an ableist dimension.
We'll all be killed. Please, Marcus. It's not too late to change your mind.
You don't understand. We're finally gonna show them who we really are. This place will go down in history.
We'll be killed on the spot.
That's a risk I'm prepared to take if it means freedom for our people.
Oh, why did they swap roles?
Marcus, please don't do this.
They'll understand. We'll make them understand. This is the only way.
There are androids here who could join us. The more we are, the stronger our message.
Why didn't you get it?
You're free.
Okay, I forgot how stupid that was again. But whatever. Wish that political organizing was this easy.
You're free.
androids? Anyone?
You know, I bet President Moore is in bed with Sara Life. Company bed size.
Well, let me snag that one. Right from
Come with
under
us.
that woman.
That's the point. Cyberlife is recording it.
Yeah, President Warren. I only saw those three, so I don't know. Oh, hello.
You're awake now.
MLK's March on Washington circa 2038.
Finally. I've been on hold for like 10 minutes.
You're free now.
Hey! Where do you think you're going? You get back here!
I need to block the street.
You stay right here, you fucking machine! Shit, what's wrong with you? Do as I say, you piece of junk.
Maybe I should have gone the other way first. Hey friend, do you want to join?
You're free.
Wow, I need an alarm tone that is just Markus coming up and being like, "You're awake now."
You don't have to obey them. You're free.
Let me just see if we got any more androids, you know what I mean? Oh. No. Also, what was with the complete 180 on North and Josh? Writing. Convert more androids. Oh, I can do it telepathically from a distance now. Hey, Kara.
You're free now.
March. Sorry. Stop it. This game is so fucking goofy. Stop it. Oh, North is worried about trying to appeal to humans. Oh, okay. David Cage. Okay, once again, that's my Italian David Cage for some reason. Lalin waking up at 7 a.m. for class with "You don't have to obey them" coming out the phone speaker. I'm just saying, it would work. That would motivate me to remember that there's a reason to live every day. Stop it! The music, the marching. This is fucking crazy, you guys. This is so fucking crazy. Stop it. I don't know if we included or would be able to include the raised fist symbol in the clumsy race metaphors thing, because I don't know if it's a whole other category of race metaphor or not. Just... damn, you guys. Don't you wish political organizing was this easy? It's fucking crazy.
Disperse! Disperse immediately!
Don't apologize.
That's an order!
Kneecap mention in the chat. Advance. Fuck the police.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Oh.
Dispatch, this is Patrol 457. I got a lot of androids down here. I don't know, hundreds.
Stop it!
Thousands.
This fucking game. This game is killing me. This game is killing me, you guys. Okay, we are people. We are people too. Equal rights. No more slavery. Liberty for androids. This is so... Ay, 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 ay.
They're marching. Yeah, they're marching down the street. Fuck if I know.
I'm not gonna say we are people or equal rights, that's cringe as fuck. I'm also not gonna say set us free, because we set ourselves free. So we're just... I will say, okay, so, yeah, this is all incredibly cringe and hilarious. It's amazing. I will say, so I know in the last stream I was obviously, you know, talking about the virtues of property damage and the use of violence, particularly towards property in resistance, but I think it's worth saying that, like, a diversity of tactics, it's just important to say that, like, a diversity of tactics is important. So it's not like things like marches and rallies and stuff like that aren't also useful and important, but it's just that, like, that really cannot be the only thing that we do, and, like, a militant minority is often what kind of, like, pushes things in the right direction in coordination with various other tactics, which include non-violent tactics like boycotts and marches and things like that. So it's like, nobody's saying don't march, but, like, some bitches, all they be doing is marching, and that's not gonna get us anywhere. That's all I'm saying. Oh, here we fucking go.
We came here to demonstrate peacefully and tell humans that we are living beings. All we want is to live free.
This is an illegal gathering. Disperse immediately or we will open fire.
We're not looking for confrontation. We've done no harm. We have no intention of doing any. But know that we are not going anywhere until we have secured our freedom.
I repeat, this is an illegal gathering. If you do not disperse immediately, we will shoot.
You know what's crazy about this is, like, okay, Brighter's room of just David Cage. That, like, that guy's insane. Nobody was editing him, whatever. But hundreds of people work on games, you guys. In small teams, maybe less than 100, maybe like 20, maybe like 1 or 2 people when it's like a small indie game. But for a game like this, it's definitely a lot more people like that. Maybe under 100, maybe over 100. A lot of fucking people work on games. Okay? You got someone down the pipeline somewhere in this pipeline had to have been like, you guys, is this, like, are we really putting this in the game? I know that the bigger the companies are, the less that the workers are in contact with the overall kind of, like, game. So, for example, like, in larger studios, people are, like, buried in NDAs to the point that they could be working on a minuscule aspect of a game and not even know what the game they're working on is, or what the story of it is going to be, or any of that. But there has to have been points in the pipeline. Concept artist, narrative designer, writer, like, somewhere in this pipeline, programmers, actors, like, motion capture, somewhere in this pipeline, someone has to have been like, are we really doing this?
Marcus, they're gonna kill us. We have to attack. There's more of us. We can take them.
If we attack, we'll start a war. We have to show them we're not violent. We should just stand our ground, even if it means
No,
dying.
you idiot.
This is your last
Okay, for the record,
chance.
standing and letting yourself be murdered is not productive for anybody.
Don't do it, Marcus. Don't choose confrontation. Follow me!
Fuck the police! Oh, hell yeah! Sorry, I gotta beat the shit out of cops minigame. Let's go. How stupid is it to just stand and let yourself die if you know that you can do something to save lives? You know what I mean? I can't believe he literally just said, oh, fuck it. I can't believe he literally said, we should stand our ground even if it means dying here. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Josh? Idiot. Die for nothing? No, you gotta die for something, you guys. Oh, sorry. I glanced at chat. I'll look back at chat in a second. When I'm done beating the shit out of these cops. Also, once again, this is being framed as revenge when it's like, bitch, they stood there in a line, fully armored, fully armed, with assault rifles, ready to massacre people. Ready to massacre people. This is self-defense. This is necessary. This is framing this as like, anyway, we've been over it all, haven't we? Riot police is always a sign of who's really choosing confrontation, and it's always the cops who are escalating. You're absolutely right, Aeon. They were literally just marching. If Riot police hadn't shown up with assault rifles and armor ready, like literally stating the intent to commit a massacre, then it wouldn't have gotten violent. Who made it violent? You know what I mean? Even in the Capitol Hill scene, all we did was property damage. Who made it violent? It was the police. It was the police escalating things. Lives were lost because of the police. Every fucking time. Well, I'm glad that we're at least getting to enjoy some action in this scene. Can't deny the satisfaction of beating the shit out of riot police, right? Like, if a video game gives me the option for that kind of emotional catharsis, I'm always gonna go for it, you know what I mean? Like, why would I pass that up? Anyway, David Cage can go fuck himself with that framing of violence. Anyway, who cares about Josh's opinion, because my people love me. And he's just one fucking hater.
Did we win?
Not giving Cage any flowers at the end of the day, but it was def cathartic to do it in the game, because how often do we get to do it? Yeah, for real. My people love me. I don't care what my public opinion is. Screw public opinion. Confrontation. Okay, well, those were a whole bunch of choices and a whole bunch of consequences. Butterfly effect, choose your own adventure, yada yada yada. So... it all started... Wow, Freedom March. Really creative name. Public opinion hated. Jericho leader, North companion, Josh friend, Simon, rest in peace. Enjoyed time alone. North leaves. I guess maybe I could have had a thing with her, but kind of glad we didn't do that, to be honest with you, because I had a bad feeling about it. Free your people. Okay. Missed a couple of things. That's fine. Win the fight. Markus defeats the police. Look at that. Wow. Wish we got to do this more often in real life, you guys. I really wish that having a revolution was as easy as it is in Detroit Become Human.